Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Audrey and this is Audrey Curates, featuring Tigger today. So, today is another episode of Writer Wednesdays and I am going to give you an insight of what am I doing as a beginner writer or getting there, you know. I'm either a beginner writer or a getting there writer, you know. Some people might understand this, but yes, I will give you an insight of what I'm doing at the moment to continue perfecting the craft of writing and writing myself. So if you didn't know, I currently mainly focus on script writing, and I have had two theatre plays, well, short plays put up in 2019 and later on this year, last September in fact. So let's start. The first element I am doing and I'm trying to keep up with is a writing group. So I currently am part of the London Writers Salon, which is a group based in London. I am of course from Malta, but I used to live in Scotland, and that is how I got into the group. I came across this advert on Facebook where it was a free writers hour. You meet up with this group via Zoom, you set your intentions, and then you write for an hour. And it's basically a writing sprint. From then on it evolved into workshops, into being a patron and things like that. And now I can happily say that I've written a script with them, and I've written of course my dissertation, which was a very heavy burden. But through their accountability and their intention setting and goal setting for months, I have found this time in the day where I just sit for an hour and write. And there is an element of course of community as well, because there are over 200 writers as patrons, and it's amazing to see how many people are doing different projects. There are children's book fiction writers, non-fiction writers, bloggers, newsletter writers, anything you can think of. And yes, I would recommend as a beginner writer to get into these groups, because you want to start learning from professionals in the field. I feel that I've learned so much throughout the past 8 months or 9 months, and it's very nice to have a community of writers. And even if you have you need some help or you cannot get through a writer's block, you can easily speak with them, and you're basically on the same level. The other one is writing prompts. So I come across a lot of writing prompts because I follow some Instagram accounts that cater to writers or else authors, and they sometimes come up with writing prompts and they share them with their followers, and I save them when I have a writing block. I also have books that help with writer's block that have prompts or short stories where you can somewhat ignite the creative spark, and then you start writing. I think those are really good to save them even on a rainy day like today, and just choose one from a jar and start writing. It is always nice to write for 5 minutes, even if it's a free flow of your thoughts, because sometimes you get ideas from your own thoughts. Doing courses, I am currently doing a few courses on storytelling and script writing. I am using the website FutureLearn. Again, I'm not sponsored. I'm not even sponsored for the London Writers Salon. If I mention something in these videos, it's because I think they are a good tool for every writer to have, and I think that they should be shared with everyone. And then perhaps if they want to drop me a private message, I am open for sponsorship. But yes, where was I? Okay, FutureLearn courses. I am currently doing one which is storytelling for social change, which sounds amazing. I started the introductory session yesterday, and it's from the University of Michigan, and it's online, it's self-paced, and I believe it's for 5 weeks and 2 hours per week. From what I got from the structure, it's basically writing about difficult topics and learning about difficult topics, but not necessarily just putting out a play on these topics, but enticing audiences and making sure to bring up discussions or change someone's perspective on the subject which is something I would love to do not only as a writer but also as a museum professional, which is something I am aspiring to when it comes to being a museum professional. What else? And I also did, during lockdown, I did an introduction to screenwriting, and I learned a few more skills on screenplays and how to write screenplays basically. And I think that's it from Future Learn. I can't remember if I did anything else, but those are the two I wanted to highlight basically. The other thing that many writers do is read books, and I am reading 4 at the moment. So you are currently perched on one of the books, which is Let's No One Get Hurt. It's a very interesting book. It has very short chapters, and the tone of the book is very descriptive. So you get a lot of descriptions of the places, the people, and it's very interesting to see how landscapes are described, sounds, people. And it's a different book. I've never come across this type of book. The other one, the book I am listening to, is the Magpie Society, and it's such a captivating book because you have one storyline and then the book is told through 2 perspectives. So you have 2 characters living the same situation, but you're seeing it from their different points of views. And one of them is American and the other one is British, so there's also this type of differences in obviously culture and how, oh no, it's going dark. It's going dark. We're having rainy days. I am ADHD brain, stop. But basically the Magpie Society is quite interesting to see the different perspectives of these 2 girls. The other one I started reading was The Time Machine, and that obviously is a classic from H.G. Wells, I believe. That might be the person from The Flash, not sure. The book is back there, so I can go check, but I'll just pop it if it's not. I'll pop a caption if it's not him. And then the last one, what is the last one? It's When the Curtain Falls by Carrie Hope Fletcher. That book is somewhat very light, and it's a love story, so it's not necessarily something you need to focus on. So I tend to listen to it when I just woke up or I'm going back to sleep. And it's such a light-hearted story. I think everyone needs some romance in their life. But yes, those are my 4 books. I have a bigger to-read list, which is fine. I keep adding books to it, but then again, I need to actually read the books. Next thing is theatre. Obviously, the world is going into lockdown and then out of lockdown, and then we're going back into lockdown. In Malta, nothing has happened in terms of a second lockdown, which means that some festivals and performances have continued in terms of theatre. So this week, an online theatre festival launched for children, and I'm intending on watching some of the scripted performances they have, as well as I missed a theatre performance a few weeks ago because I was in quarantine, but I really wanted to go because obviously when you see theatre performances, you're always learning, even as an actress or as a director or as a writer. Basically, you learn from these types of performances, and there are a few coming up which I'm not sure I'm going to, because the numbers in Malta have been going up, so I'm a bit on going to performances at the moment. And I am also trying to keep up with the National Theatre because I believe they're starting up performances again, and I just love the National Theatre basically. Can you decide? Women decide. Mother Nature decide. You either want sun or you want rain. The other one I tend to do a lot of the time is write from experience, and I have had some situations come up the last few months while I was back in Malta where they ended up really good scripts. I've had instances where a certain situation was very dark and very sad, so I tried to turn it into a script, and it turned out pretty good, and I'm very happy with the synopsis of the play. So I'm just leaving it just to think about it even more and perhaps come up with something else. I am really looking forward to develop the script for it. But yes, another tip that I would give beginners is to write from your own experiences. We live so many different lives that we cannot necessarily live them all. So we have to look to books, to theatre, to films, to actually know stories about other people. And I think that some topics might be somewhat similar to everyone else's. Others might be specific situations that someone lives. And it's also a way you start learning how to put your pain on paper and distance yourself from that feeling. I think that it helped me so much when it came to certain topics and certain stories, that I wrote them down on a paper, wrote them in a script, wrote how I felt from the character's perspective, and then distanced myself from that character. Write from experiences. That is something that I have been told, and I think I realized myself when I started writing on certain topics and feelings that I had experienced in my own life. And last but not least is looking and searching for opportunities. At the moment, my calendar for January is filled with deadlines. I am looking at both academic as well as scripting and screenplay opportunities. At the end of my internship in April, I had applied for a symposium, and I got chosen, and I was given a 7-minute slot, and I did that. I did that a few weeks ago, and it was great as an experience. And then we were given the opportunity to send in our scripts and send in our paper and have it published in journal. I will be published in the Scottish Society for the History of Photography, which will eventually come out either later this year or earlier next year. And that is always a nice opportunity to just publish academically, because I have published articles, so it's always nice to remain active in the scene of either articles, academically, and also keeping up with projects and looking at potential venues, or call for papers, or call for submissions, and try to get my name out there, you know? It's always nice as a writer to just try and find certain pockets of opportunity, because obviously COVID has limited some of those opportunities. And I think that now that everything is going digital, I think this realm of writing and this realm of having publishing online is easier and more accessible. I think that is it from my end. The grandfather clock is ringing, so I need to go. In the meantime, make sure to like this video, subscribe. I will see you next time. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, wear a mask, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.